Hey guys, welcome back. We got our Warb Part 2 video here. Build is more optimized now. Feeling pretty good, feeling speedy. These first clips I have is just speed running destructive play maps. It's like 4 clips of speed running to the boss. One of them with a really bad layout. The lightning warp has minimal cooldown reduction, and once we get a couple of souls, then it's pretty much instantaneous transportation around the map. It feels really good. So if you're trying to like speedrun to bosses or to any content, like looking through maps for the content, I think this build is this is a really good strat for that. And once you get your mana regen up high enough, you can actually just hold down warp and lightning warp around at the same time. So you can clear mobs and teleport around. It feels really good. So yeah, feel free to skip around. I'm gonna have time stamps for pretty much every separate instance of video in here. The first 4 is again just boss rushing, and we got some mapping gameplay. We got tier 17s in here, and we got some bosses like the Elder, Maven, Incarnation of Fear, stuff like that. And then at the very end of the video is going to be the PoB changes from the last spec and just like a general review of it. So yeah, enjoy.
Mana.
Here is a full map run, just a tier 16. Nothing real spicy on here. But yeah, just showing you what a full map clear looks like, pretty much.
Know your place.
Love a good murder.
Time to up the stakes. Give yourself to the void.
I need more mana.
Indecision is terribly unbecoming. On guard!
Die quickly!
This clip is a random part of the map. I'm running a lot of Strongboxes in here, and I have the mastery to open chests. 25% chance of skill use. So I thought it was a pretty cool mix of teleporting around and the chests opening as you pass by them. It's another thing to think about when using a build like this and like to pick a strategy.
Die quick.
We'll be best friends until we slaughter you.
I need more mana.
That was a hunt you on the.
Here's the T17 map. It's not
I need more mana.
really, I wouldn't call this a real T17 because I cut the prefixes off the map. So it's a real, like, really easy T17. There's not any super dangerous mods on there. Just more like annoying mods, less AoE. I am running all the effect modifier on the Atlas. So the mods are, the less AoE is huge, which probably reduces our damage a good amount. And the consecrated ground is also pretty annoying, especially for the tanky bosses. I brought Frost or Frost Bomb or whatever to deal with that. Reduces their regeneration by 50%, I think. But yeah, it's an easy T17, so take that with a grain of salt. If you need to clear T17s to get the map point, this build's definitely viable. But if you need, if you want to farm juice T17s, I don't think this build is at that point yet. And we'll see if it gets there. But yeah, here's a T17. Timestamp will be, I'll put the timestamp in for the bosses. It's not too much longer from now.
strike true. Well, I haven't got all day. Try not to scream too much. I need more mana. Happy now? Fire strike true.
Couple 10-way invitations. You'll notice I cast spell totems here and there in this video. I tried them out, and the 40% less cast speed feels pretty bad for the initial placement of the totems, so I decided against using them. They are like a 20% damage boost, but I wasn't really a fan of placing them.
Give yourself to the void. Resist the assault. Mortal flesh is so fallible. Grasp your mortality tightly. Feel your life drain away. Grasp your mortality tightly. Life is cyclical. Give yourself to the void. Resist the assault.
Fire strike true.
Grasp your mortality tightly. Give yourself to the void. Grasp your mortality
To me, exile.
Feel your life drain away.
Consumed by fear.
This is the quest version of Incarnation of Fear. I still have not finished that quest line. I'm getting distracted with all these different builds, but yeah, I'm not sure how much harder the actual version is. Just wanted you to know this is the quest version.
Blinding agony. Consumed by fear. Rapture of the mind. Forgive me. I was not myself.
Another of our favorite boss, the Maven. Smoother than last time, quicker. Still not as fast as I would like it to be, but we're getting there.
Returns tenfold. Space aligns. Behold my collection.
I will have what I want. Death will not be an escape. Scurry, scurry. Stand still. A cascade of pain.
Death made real.
Stand squine.
Resistance will be punished. Time controls. Scurry, scurry.
Body and strike true.
My irritation is growing. A cascade of pain. Death will not be an escape. Scurry, scurry. Stand still. How?
Stop resisting. Reality bends. Punishment inescapable.
Arrogant toy. Death will not be an escape. Scurry, scurry. Stand still.
Alright, so here's the PoB for Spec 2. As we saw, it's looking a lot smoother. It's more optimized. Still have four gem slots on the build to figure out what to do. I'm thinking Animate Guardian, setting up one of those. It might be expensive though, so haven't gotten to it yet. But yeah, here is the tree. There's really not much of a difference for pathing. You can look at Spec 1. I had these nodes mostly just for resistance and stats. Don't have them anymore. Looks like my jewels got messed up. Let me fix these. Okay, so if we're comparing briefly Spec 1 and Spec 2, damage 2.5 mil versus 5 mil. So DPS went up by 2. Max hits went down 15k to 13k. Those went down like 1% or 10%, sorry. So yeah, we got a lot more damage, less tanky. I'm going to keep tweaking it. But yeah, tree's about the same. Jewels are different. Big difference on jewels. Running Grand Spectrums. They're not the most efficient thing to run, but they were easy to set up and relatively cheap. Pretty strong. Well, solves just giving us damage and resistances right now. And that's actually all the jewels changes. Before I just had stats and pretty much worthless jewels. But yeah, the items have changed a bit. I got a new helmet with fire res, it has decent ES, fire res, +1 power charge. Those are all really useful. The scorch isn't really doing much for us because we don't apply that much fire damage. But if you're going to use the taming, then it works pretty well. So this is a decent helmet. Chestplate was... The build is starved for resists and stats, so I had to find a body armor with enough res on it. And I actually had to go down in energy shield to get one. The 10% chance to block spell damage was a nice bonus, but not necessary. But it is really nice. It's just going to be hard to find a chestplate exactly like that. Mostly you're just looking for energy shield and res. Gloves, the dexterity is really important. If you can grab that on them. Energy shield, decent energy shield, and the res. Pretty much you want 2 good suffixes on your rare items at least. And then a craftable third one. And then the other new item is we have a power charge ring. These have been surprisingly cheap in quotes this league. 5 to 6 divines, I think you can snag one if you're constantly watching. It's a really big damage boost. The taming is actually if you're having your mercenary apply like Scorch and Shock and Ignite, then the taming is actually better. But you have to set up your mercenary to do that. But yeah, +1 power charge ring, obviously very good for power charge stacking. Also got a new Graven secret. This one has increased strength and dex. Not necessary really. Mostly I was just looking for one with high lightning res. I got a corrupted one because it's cheaper to use tainted catalysts and get like a decent roll in the res than to pop a bunch of prismatic catalysts on it. So that's why I went with a corrupted belt. Strength and dex is a nice bonus though. Our flasks are pretty low uptime. This diamond one is pretty good. Flask charge on crit, reduce effective curses. That's useful. And then I guess Dying Sun and Bottled Faith are nice if you can, like, it's really nice for mapping, and then you have some burst damage on bosses. But they're not really necessary. It's just a nice bonus. Things to go for kind of last. I had them for my last build, so keeping them. Yeah, and then for skills, I'm still trying to figure skills out. New thing I have is cast some damage taken, cold snap with bone chill, 14% DPS. I don't know how much uptime this has. I might switch it to vortex to see how often this is proccing. Swapped out the infused channeling with awakened cold pen, and once I get this to level 5, I can get rid of these 3 nodes, which is going to be pretty nice. And we're running Tempest Shield now. We dropped Period of Elements. Tempest Shield's really nice. Spell block is actually at 67%. That feels really good. And we're running a higher level Clarity. Once you get your mana regen above the cost of Winter Orb, you can actually just hold down Winter Orb and spam Lightning Warp everywhere. As you saw in some of the gameplay, it's really, really nice. I haven't added much to the notes. I just have Spec 1 and Spec 2 in here. If you looked at the Winter Orb PoB like before I started doing the new specs. So it just tells you the initial run pretty much for Winter Orb when I respec to it. And yeah, for Spec 2, I feel like it's a really good speed farming build. We can clear T17s. You can't really juice them up at all. I wouldn't really call it a tier 17 clearing build yet, but you can do it if you need to like get the extra map slot or whatever. And then yeah, something about the power charge ring and taming, which I mentioned. And yeah, and the white lightning orb tech. I feel like these are pretty useful. But yeah, that's about all. Gonna keep tweaking the build. It is like starting to plateau, like currency wise. We're gonna start needing to invest a lot more currency to get improvements, but there's a room to grow, so we'll see if we can push it a little further. If there's any particular content you want to see this build clear, or see a direction for the build to be built towards, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.